We are constantly reminded that we need to become the best versions of ourselves. We need to get better habits, better routines, and it can become so overwhelming. The term discipline is everywhere, but the common definition does not really include room for balance, for days off, or for self-care. So in today's video, let's dive into how to practice soft discipline to become the best versions of ourselves and how to spend the last 90 days of 2024 to become disciplined in a balanced and feminine way. So let's get into it. So what even is soft discipline? I'm not even sure if it's a real word, but I would define it as being kind to yourself while staying consistent with your goals. And instead of making strict rules, it's about making steady progress by encouraging yourself and learning from your mistakes and giving yourself room to grow. And this is something that I have really needed for a while. I used to constantly feel like I failed every time I did not do all the habits on my habit tracker. And this was the kind of failure that demotivated me instead of pushing me to do better. So for so long I have set myself goals and then I felt like I was not doing enough, which only made me feel worse, which results in the feeling of I need to get my life together. And what did I do? I set myself new goals, failed again, and the spiral continues. And what I really needed was not to get my life together, whatever that means. I just needed a better balance between productive days and rest days. So instead of going down that spiral again, why not take a different approach this time? And I also feel like to do a challenge for the last 90 days or the last 3 months of 2024 is just a good idea because everyone is feeling, oh, I have a few goals left that I still need to do, let's get to it. So yeah, I'm really excited to do this together. And now I know there are many self-improvement challenges out there, such as 75 Hard or Project 50. And if you do not know, 75 Hard is a challenge where you have 6 rules that you need to follow for 75 days. And if you fail at one rule, you have to start over. And I really don't like this aspect of the challenge. I feel like growth isn't linear. Humans need rest days too. It's like the heartbeat. There are ups and downs, and we shouldn't consider a day of rest as a day of failure. It's a necessary part of the growth. The same way a bear sleeps in the winter and a tree lets its leaves fall. Alright, so now that we have discussed the softness of this challenge, let's discuss what should be in the challenge. What should the rules be, or which daily habits should we include? Okay, so behind me I've put all the books that I've read so far this year, and if you are a reader, these are not that many books. Like, I think I have to put one more because I just finished another. So in total there are 10 books. And I set the goal for myself to read 25 books this year. And again, if you are a reader, this isn't that much, but for me, I've been in a reading slump ever since I got into university. So for 4 years or so. So 25 books in 1 year is pretty good for me, but obviously I'm not there yet. So one of the goals that I have left for this year is to really get to reading. Alright, good morning. It's currently the next day and it is 7:30 a.m. So I decided to go over the ideas for which non-negotiables or which rules we should put in the 90-day challenge. Yesterday I asked on my Instagram as well as on my YouTube community tab what you guys think we should put in the challenge, and I'm going to try to basically combine everything into, I think, maybe 5 or max 6 rules or things. Alright, so my handwriting isn't the best, but I just made a list of everything that you all have put down and also what I personally would like to include as well. So the list goes: drink water. So some people said 2 liters, some people said 3 liters. So I guess that is up to your own interpretation of how much you would need. Quran journaling, to read the Quran, walking, exercising, reading, morning and evening adhkar, fajr prayer or prayer in general. And tahajjud prayer was also mentioned, to study the deen or study, well, basically do Islamic studies, practice gratitude. But what was mostly mentioned, I think, was especially exercising and something with Quran or prayer, and also something of self-improvement when it comes to your mind, to study something. So study something Islamic or study Arabic or learn more surahs, basically where you are really using your brain. And I personally always like to divide everything up. Anyways, so what I always like to do is to divide everything up into health and wealth sections, where health is basically everything when it comes to your body, so whether you're exercising and whether you're drinking water when we're looking at this list. And then wealth is where you invest in your well-being, like inner well-being, your spirituality, your religion. Basically wealth I consider as your deen, because that is like investing in your afterlife, right? So when it comes to health, we have movements, we have drinking water, I think those two. And exercising in our case should also be including things such as walking, because I do think that you don't necessarily need to work out every day, and going on a walk is not only good for your physical but also for your mental well-being. So I definitely would consider walking as an exercise or as a way of movement, of course. And then when it comes to wealth, so how we're investing in ourselves and in our afterlife, we have Islamic studies or Quran journaling or Quran studies, surah memorization. I think I'm going to combine it and put it as Islamic studies or deen studies. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to think about that. I personally think that prayer should be one of the 5, well, of course it's one of the 5 pillars, but I also think that it should be one of the 5 rules for this 90-day challenge. And I think that this can be applied differently for everyone. So for me personally, when I consider my prayer and how I would like to improve it, I would definitely say I would like to improve when it comes to praying exactly on time, and also I still have lots to go when it comes to my focus during prayer and doing like the voluntary prayers. So I think prayer is nice for me as well, but also for people who would consider it as praying tahajjud or praying fajr. So that's that. And I think that reading is part of like a combination of health and wealth, because you can read something that isn't necessarily Islamic but still is very good for you, just because your mind is basically doing something productive. So I definitely personally would like to include reading as well, and then it could be reading the Quran or reading non-fiction or fiction. I think this is up to interpretation and it depends per person. So in total, I think the 90-day challenge for me personally will be the focus on prayer, on movement, on drinking lots of water, reading, and Islamic studies. I think if I were to do all these 5 things in one day, I would feel like I've taken over the world. Especially the focus on this one, I really love. So I think this is the list that I'm currently at, but I'm gonna revise it still and maybe change the names of it as well. I also think I should be printing out like a 90-day challenge poster where every day you cross off what you did, but still it should be emphasized that if you miss something on one day, that you're not failing the challenge and you're doing fine, everything is okay, because growth is slow, and that is what we want to emphasize in this challenge. But I do think that it's nice to see how you're doing over the days, and maybe you could also check back, oh, I'm not doing all the 5 things on a specific day or a specific week, and you can track back, oh, I think that is because XYZ. So I'm going to create something to print out. If I finish it in time, I'll also make sure to link it somewhere so that you can also download it and print it for yourself if that's something that you would like. Alright, so I have been working for a while. It's already 10 a.m. and I finished the template. It's actually very minimalistic because I wasn't sure what everyone would like, so I just made it as simple and plain as possible. Just straight up, this is the day and this is the list of things, and then you can just cross it off. So I'm going to print that out today, and I thought I would just take you along with me on this day with all the other things that I do. I am going to try to already practice these 5 things of the 90-day challenge so that you also have an example of what a day could look like. So first things first, let's make breakfast. So as you saw from the list, I didn't put a specific daily habit of eating healthy or following a specific diet. You should definitely include this if this is something that you want to work on. But I'm not sure. I feel like for me, it's not necessarily something I have to focus on. And also, I wouldn't be sure how to put it in a daily habit because my routine right now is to like basically have a really good balance between eating healthy foods, but also, you know, indulging in the foods that are less healthy. So I guess I'm leaving it for now, but definitely include this if you want to include this. And also, if you want to include anything else, make sure to do that as well, because of course this is your challenge, and of course there are a bunch of habits and routines that are basically romanticized online, and it's so easy to feel influenced into wanting to have the same habits and routines because they look so good on camera, but you have to make it fit your life. For example, for me, whenever I see a morning routine that starts at 4 a.m, I just think I wouldn't be able to do that. So instead I try to embrace the mindset of, well, okay, if that's something that someone else is doing, then more power to them. And then for me, I try to find what works for me and go and do that. So if I want to drink 2 liters of water, I have to drink this bottle twice because I think this is 1.25 liters. So I thought it's a good time to start the Islamic studies session of the day. And I think today's Islamic study session will be searching up a good Islamic lecture and taking notes at the same time, because I listen to lectures or podcasts all the time, but if I make notes of it, I think I'll learn more from it. Okay, so I've been looking over for lectures on YouTube and I found a series called Holistic Healing, Islam's Legacy of Mental Health by Dr. Rania Awad. I think that is very appropriate for the challenge. We're really considering mental health and taking rest days, so I think this would be very nice. Since I was going to the print shop anyway, I decided why not also print out a few pictures to create some sort of a vision board around the template of the daily challenge. It's actually been so long since I created a physical vision board, but as I was making it, I realized that perhaps this is a better way than a digital version, because when I look at the vision board on my laptop or my phone screen, I just kind of look through it. But I think that with this physical version, that's more difficult to do. So yeah, I really like it. Oh, and by the way, I didn't skip the praying part of the 5 daily habits today. I just didn't film it. My focus was to increase my focus during prayer, and I guess it worked really well because I completely forgot to add anything of the sort into the video. So I just put it there for now because it fell down, because I don't really have anything to stick it to the wall to right now. And then I put the poster over there It will probably change locations as well, but for now I think it's okay. So if you want to do this challenge together, I have created a Discord where we girls can, you know, chat and do like daily check-ins and everything. So if that's something that you would like to join, then I'll have the link below. And also you can follow me on Instagram because I will be creating a lot of reels over there. And I'm not sure I'm going to post the reels or like the short form content on YouTube, just because sometimes I feel like YouTube gets spammed with short form content, and I like YouTube to be a place where you are specifically watching long form content. That's why I will probably not post over here, but let me know if you think that I should post my reels on YouTube. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you feel motivated to make the most out of the last few months of this year and really again try to become the best version of yourselves. I hope this video helped you see the journey of becoming the best version of yourself as a process, as a slow journey, and not as a race. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.